Neighbourhood policing has come a long way since the days of Dixon of Dock Green.
Good evening, all.
From inner city estates to suburbia, this new generation of community police officers are on the front line. Their aim is to develop a stronger bond with the community.
Have you had any problems then over the last week?
Crack down on the crimes taking place on their doorstep.
You been drinking tonight? No. Where's your speech lad then?
Formulate fast action plans to take down the criminals.
Not too careful.
Who do you think you are? Go.
In this new series of Neighbourhood Blues, we go to the Humberside Police Region and get exclusive access to 24 teams of neighbourhood police officers.
You'll do this, mate.
As they tackle the problems blighting local people.
You're now under arrest on suspicion of possession with intent to supply a controlled drug.
And rise to the challenge of making the streets a safer place. Coming up, tip-offs about a man cultivating cannabis at home sees the police give him a rude awakening.
Are you going to sort that out, please?
All right.
An antisocial behaviour patrol at a trouble hotspot sees one lad get a good old-fashioned telling off.
Tell me your details and you tell me correctly. Because if you don't, I've got your face and I will find out who you are. All right?
And a shop owner takes the law into his own hands by locking up a pair of burly bailiffs.
They're in there lawfully, so that is the top and bottom of it. You are liable for false imprisonment and kidnap.
The new style of neighbourhood policing we've been following is all about listening to local people's concerns and making communities safer. But the big question is, are these teams really able to make a difference? Complaints about antisocial behaviour caused by misbehaving teens set the phones ringing at police stations across the country.
You get a lot of young people around certain areas who are basically just vandalising property, or by their mere presence they're threatening people around the community. So it might just be standing around in hoods and, you know, just throwing a piece at people walking by.
In Humberside, following a number of serious occurrences that culminated in an attack on a local takeaway owner, the neighbourhood teams have had great success at reducing the number of incidents and taking tough action against the perpetrators. They have rounded up offenders and seen them punished with criminal convictions and ASBOs. But they have also worked with the local council to create leisure parks to keep the kids off the streets and out of trouble. But sometimes even these facilities can become a magnet for people looking to create strife. Locking Park in particular has experienced a huge range of problems, including arson attacks.
If you take a walk through there, you'll find several burn areas, and some of the trees have got scorching and that where they've been starting the fires in there.
When things get out of hand, the police are not afraid to clear the area of kids and close down the facility for set periods. New daily patrols have helped reduce antisocial behaviour, but that doesn't mean it remains a trouble-free zone. Today, Anita is making a beat walk through the area. Word comes through on the radio that some children have been spotted climbing on the roof of the community centre. And it seems that getting up to mischief on the rooftops is something the neighbourhood team deals with on a regular basis.
Get down, stop being stupid.
As PCSO Sam Gregory found out just a few days ago. And today, Anita has a similar problem to contend with.
2 ewes on top of Woodford roof, which is actually quite fragile, so they shouldn't be climbing up on the roof. So I'll just see if we can go and have words with them.
She heads off to track them down and quickly spots one of them.
Come here! Oi! Were we talking to you? Get here. Come here. Stop walking away from me. Right, come down here, away from the slot. Put your shirt down. All right? Do you know why I'm here?
No.
Well, why do you think I'm here? Why do you think I'm here? What have you just been doing?
I was down there.
No, you weren't. You were on that roof because I just saw you. Weren't you?
No.
Yes, you were. So don't lie to me. All right? Don't be daft. You don't climb on the roof, so I will take your details. All right? So come over and you lot stay away. Stand there. And you tell me your details and you tell me correctly. Because if you don't, I've got your face and I will find out who you are. All right? Stay there. So you were on the roof of Woodford. Do you realise how dangerous that is up there? That roof is very insecure, all right? It's fragile and it's brittle and you can go through it, all right? It doesn't matter that you're light and you're little and you think you're agile. You don't go climbing on roofs. Do I make myself quite clear? You keep doing these type of activities and I will put you on an ABC or I'll put you on an ASBO and I'll ban you from the park and I'll ban you from Woodford, all right? And Woodford do, look at me when I talk to you, Woodford do a lot of good activities in there and you probably do go to some of them, all right? And I will stop you. So don't be climbing on the roof. And do you think your dad will be pleased with you? Right, so don't let them tell you to do things and don't do what they tell you, all right? You're an individual. You know what's right and wrong. Don't do it, all right? Go on.
The good old-fashioned telling off seems to have hit home.
Obviously they haven't heard them because usually Woodford ring up straight away to say they've got people on the roof because someone's going to go through one of these days and goodness knows what's going to happen to them then. So.
Community policing is all about spreading a simple message. Tell us what your problem is and we will do something about it.
I'm impressed with the service.
And the police do this in many different ways, by chatting to locals and beat walks, by making door-to-door calls.
One of your local PCSOs. Did you get my letter the other day?
I did, yes.
And through holding surgeries and public meetings.
Clearly, you people care about your communities, so you've got some of that community spirit, and that needs to be transferred to other people.
Recently, the neighbourhood teams have started forging close ties with those residents who take crime most seriously of all. Those involved in neighbourhood watch groups. Tonight, PCSO Andy Whitaker is attending a meeting on his patch. He thinks the partnership is a winning one.
Neighbourhood Watch is little groups that residents set up themselves if they're having particular problems with crime or any other issues in their area.
And those who take part seem to agree.
For the next year.
It's about getting all the residents involved, having regular meetings, updating everybody, sharing information, and just trying to generally get everyone's views all together to fire off to the council or the police, depending on what issues they have.
Tonight's meeting raises something people want to see more of. Bobby's on the beat.
So as well as our regular patrols around the sort of streets, we are going, down the alleyways and into the areas where there is a large number of garages.
And the idea of a friendly face in uniform rings as true today as it ever did.
I mean, if you went back years and years, people probably relate to Dixon and Doc Green as being the local Bobby on the beat many years ago. And this is the way I perceive the community policeman to be, the person who's going to come round and be the person who's the face, who everybody will talk to, and if you want some inside information, then that's the person who's going to get it.
Some of it's curiosity to see what's in there. Some of it, there is high-value pedal cycles and power tools within the garages.
It's always the fear of crime, which, as Andy says, it is that makes people, more worried. And by keeping us in touch with what is going on or not going on, where then some of that fear gets reduced, really. And also, we also know that, the police are on top of it.
Write a statement and then give it to
Another issue raised at the meeting may seem a minor one, but it really does get people's backs up.
Yeah. Is there anything that can be done about all this dog mess?
And as we're about to find out, the police are quick to react to the complaint.
Thanks so much.
The neighbourhood teams can be found patrolling outdoor spaces and parks every day, but it's not just always to keep an eye on any tearaway teens. Because today, acting on concerns voiced by the residents about dog fouling, Anita is teaming up with the council to send a message that they are getting tough on those who let their dogs do a dirty. The man she is with works for the council as an antisocial behaviour officer, and we have disguised his identity because sometimes he carries out undercover work in the park looking for troublemakers.
Whenever we have community forums, always within the top 3 of issues in the area is dog fouling.
And it's a complaint echoed nationwide.
I cannot understand anybody who has a dog who doesn't clear up after them.
People who don't clean up their dog mess are bad owners, basically. It's just irresponsible, isn't it? And I think it's assumed if you've got a dog that you would look after or take care of the dog and take care of what it might leave behind.
It's just, for me, it's just good sense enablingness. You shouldn't leave it because children can get involved in it and it just makes an awful mess, apart from the smell.
It's people who tend to walk the streets with the dogs that don't clean it up. You find people who walk them in the parks do, but they just seem to not care, and it's revolting. And I think if there's anything stronger could be done about that, I think dog fouling is a real big issue actually in a lot of towns and cities.
We have a gentleman, hopefully still in reception, that would like to speak to us with regards to dog fouling. I think within East Park or maybe just in general. So obviously with having here as well with us, and he can obviously put the council perspective on it as well as ourselves, go and have a word with him and see what issues he does have.
The local man who has been plagued by the problem where he lives wants to know what can be done about getting the mess cleaned up and the offending dog owners reprimanded.
Well, I live just off Gillshill,
right.
On Lancaster Drive. I'm just sick of people just letting. I mean, we've got a grass verge.
Yes,
We've just got these people. I've not caught anybody yet, but I've caught them. I challenge them myself, and they're just letting the dogs poo on the grass verges.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's no one to stop them or no one to see them.
Now, if it's brought to our attention that there's a particular problem, again, like you said, we've done patrols around the park. There's nothing to stop a dog messing 2 minutes after we've walked past it.
Yeah, great.
Now, if members of the public say to us, every morning, every evening between 6 AM, 7 AM, or 7 on an evening, 8 on an evening, just because it's early or just because it's late, if we've got evidence to prove that it's happening at a certain time, between certain hours, then whole City Council officers can be there. We're aware of, we have got excellent CCTV coverage and it is something that we are looking at. All right.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks very much. No worries. Cheers, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Sorry we kept you waiting.
Oh, you're all right.
A tough stance on dog fouling has strong public support.
And should we see anybody allowing their dog to foul and not clear it up, they will be issued with a £50 fine. And when it starts hitting them in the pocket, then, you know, hopefully they'll amend their behaviour.
About it, won't they? So, yeah.
But it's always in our top 3 of issues.
The credit crunch has seen thousands of small businesses go bust. But when the shutter gets pulled down for the last time on a shop, you don't expect someone to get locked inside, especially a pair of burly bailiffs. PC Alan Cowley explains more.
Yeah, we've just been called to a job, see if we can assist some bailiffs have been to evict the occupants of a shop. For some reason, they've ended up getting locked into the property. I don't know if it's by mistake or it's malicious, but we're going to pop down to see what the score is.
We'll just swing by there and see if there's any way we can assist. Here we go. Any bailiffs in there? There they are as well, look.
It's not going to be good.
It's trying to break out. Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Are you the bailiff?
Oh, we both are, yeah.
Yeah.
The shop is a small second-hand store owned by a local man. The team are puzzled about how and why the bailiffs are locked in and set to work asking them what happened.
They've entered the shop earlier on during the day with a warrant from the court, so they're there legitimately to collect some money. But for one reason or another, either intentionally or a mistake's happened, the owners left the shop, lots of shutters and the bailiffs are locked in. He's leaving himself open for liable to be arrested for a kidnap or false imprisonment.
The guy's not been very happy. And then he said, right, well, I'm going. He's decided to lock us in. So.
Okay. The difficulty we've got is we've got no power to damage the property to let you out.
Gareth gets the owner's number.
07. What is it?
And gives him a call.
Okay. There's a window at the back, but obviously you don't really want to smash it.
Okay, but if you did, would you be able to get out of there?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right, but you've locked them in there, which is a deliberate act which leaves you liable unless we can get them out now.
My colleague would appear to be on the telephone with the tenant at the minute, so we'll see if we can perhaps advise him to come down.
As the bailiffs wait to see if the owner returns to let them out, one of them explains the reason for their visit and imprisonment.
Obviously we were sent to either collect the full balance of the rent or to remove goods to sell at auction to cover the cost of the rent. Obviously the tenant refused to pay, basically demanded that we leave the premises, which we couldn't do at the time, and he decided to lock us in and disappear with the keys.
Gareth is still on the phone to the owner and lays down the law to him.
They're in there lawfully, so that is the top and bottom of it. You are liable for false imprisonment and kidnap. Are you coming down now? Thank you. Tap. He's en route. Coming to us now.
Persuade and advised.
Oh, you've just been told you'll get locked up.
Give him the legislation.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, in terms of you and your warrant and everything, we obviously won't have time to stand there. You're going to start taking gear out of there?
No, all that's been settled now by the landlord.
That's been done, is it?
Yeah, it's all been settled.
So all you need to do is come out of there?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah.
Find out later if the team get the shop owner to play ball and raise the shutter on the banged up bailiffs.
It's good news when the teams score a result, but they know that trouble is always brewing elsewhere, and drug dealing and abuse, wherever it may take place, always gets them taking tough action.
Cannabis is the most widely used illegal drug in the UK. But in recent years, the police have been faced with a greater challenge than just catching dealers and users. Because over 60% of cannabis sold is now homegrown. In Humberside, the neighbourhood team launch regular strikes against both large-scale drug barons and small-time street peddlers. But it's not just dealers they are going after. It's the growing number of people who think it's okay to grow their own at home, despite cannabis being classified as a Class B drug. Today over at Preston Road, Nigel and Craig are responding to a tip-off from a resident that someone is growing cannabis at a house on their street.
A member of the public rang us, telling us that it can smell cannabis quite strongly, believed to be good, but we haven't got much information really to play with. It's certainly not enough for us to obtain a warrant from court as yet, so it's the best way to play it really.
It's a rented property. But so far, neither the landlord or letting agent has been able to gain entry.
She rang us because they wouldn't let her in, and they haven't let her in for a while. And when they opened the door, there was obviously a strong smell of cannabis. We're trying to get information from them. It's proved fruitless because she hasn't even got details of who the occupants are for some reason. So these are some of the headles that you get really. Unfortunately, they're recorded in our system already for whatever reason. Again, it doesn't help if you go into an address, you want to know what warnings people have got, what history they've got, so you can take the appropriate risk measurements really.
Arriving at the property, they gain entry by simply knocking on the door.
Hello.
Nolan, you alright? Are you the occupier?
Well, I live here, yeah.
Yeah, can I just have a chat with you, please?
Yeah,
Is that right? I'm Nigel Morgan, your local police officer around here. What we're here for, right, we've had enough information that you're growing cannabis in the address. Right, so instead of getting a warrant from your door down, because I appreciate you've got kids, and just come and speak with you.
I was going to say, it's not actually my house, it's my partner's is upstairs.
Right, it's your partner upstairs, is he?
The mother claims that she has just moved into her partner's house, who's upstairs in bed.
My colleague's explained what the information is.
Yeah. As I say, I haven't lived here long, my partner's lived here, but I've just moved from, my other house.
Okay. Is there anything that shouldn't be here?
Not as far as I know, I ain't got a clue,
Right, because there is a little bit of a smell of cannabis, all right. There's something in the loft.
It's a loft extension. It's a bedroom.
Oh, it's a bedroom?
Yeah.
Oh, up there?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's a bedroom.
Oh, okay. Do you just want to come with me and have a look around? Because your partner's fast asleep.
No,
He's going to have a bit of a fright, isn't he, when I hear?
The woman gets him out of bed.
You didn't mess about there, did you?
I've just said to him, obviously, I ain't lived here long, so...
All right.
Are you going to sort it out, please?
We've had a report regards cannabis being around here, okay. So we've come to have a look around, really. We've not come around busting doors and etc. So
On being asked if there is any cannabis growing, he confesses immediately.
How many plants are upstairs?
I don't know what's happening.
3. Right, look.
We'll do this as quickly and as discreetly as we can. Obviously, we're in uniform, so you that, but we don't want to cause too much havoc, all right? So.
The team want the issue resolved as quickly as possible, so get the man to reveal where his stash is.
All right, is it up there and stuff? Or is it in the back garden? No, it's upstairs. Right.
Find out later just exactly what weedy secret is found to be lurking in the loft. Back over in Hull city centre.
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Are you the bailiff?
Steve and Gareth have attended a distress call from a couple of bailiffs. They were locked in a shop after the owner pulled down the shutter on them as they tried to remove goods to settle a debt.
Right, but you've locked them in there, which is a deliberate act which leaves you liable unless we can get them out now.
The team have been waiting for the owner to arrive, but some time has passed and there is still no sign of him. Just as Gareth is about to call him again, they spot him arriving.
Here he is.
There he is.
Oh then, young man, how are you doing?
I'm fine, mate.
Good, are we going to let these people out then?
Well, it's all about deprivation, demoralisation and dehumanisation, isn't it?
Well, it might well be, but unfortunately they're there illegally, mate.
Well, no, I asked them to leave. What can I do?
They've got a warrant.
Well, if they've got a warrant, they don't have to.
Yeah, only had to step outside.
So,
well, I'm not going to leave all my stuff out, am I? I'm just fighting for a common man. I'm a second-hand dealer.
Pop the shutters and let's get them out.
They think they can just come here and empty my shop because I'm be out with the rent.
Well,
Get that
unfortunately,
on telly.
we've got a warrant to do that, mate.
Yeah, but they only have to stand outside.
Stop showing the ball then, and we'll get it sorted.
Mate, I'm saying what I
All right.
feel.
Right then,
I've
lads.
got a right like everybody else.
So, have you got your money and what have you, and you're happy?
Well, that's that part of it sorted.
Right.
Obviously.
So you're happy at that now? You're out and away.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll make sure you get away without any further problems. Okay. Thank you very much. All right, no worries. See you later.
The bailiffs are freed and don't want to take the matter any further. Alan explains to the owner why he was breaking the law.
I appreciate your miffed and all the rest of it. But once they've got a warrant from the courts, they've got a power to come in here and you can't kick them out, basically.
No.
No, but listen, I'm just trying to... I can see you're a hard-working man and trying to make a living.
Yeah.
But by locking them in, if they want to make a complaint now, which they're entitled to do, I'd be locking you up for a kidnap and false imprisonment.
Well, no, you won't, mate,
I would
because I asked them to stand outside.
You can't ask them
they
to
had
stand
somebody
out.
coming
Listen to
here
me.
to do this.
I'm just offering you the advice if it happens again.
You're a gentleman.
Okay,
but not a lot of people are gentlemen, are
well,
they?
unfortunately not.
And the law is wrong. I should go to court before they can come in my shop and empty my shop.
I don't make the law, do I? I'm
No,
just
but
looking
it's
to
wrong.
uphold it. So
They shouldn't be allowed just to come in somebody's shop and empty it on their say-so.
there's a lot of things in life that are wrong, aren't there? But me and you can't
Well,
put
yeah,
right, can we?
it's all about deprivation, demoralisation and dehumanisation.
What's your name, mate? He's obviously upset. He considers himself, which I'm sure he is, a hard-working man trying to make ends meet. He's fell into difficulties with the shop and he owes rent money. His only way out now is to close the shop. The bailiffs have gone. They've got their money for what they need for the time being. He's coming back tomorrow and he's going to empty the contents out the shop, hand the keys over, and unfortunately that's his business folded. It's quite a sorry state of affairs, really. Everybody's trying to make ends meet in times of austerity. But unfortunately he's fell foul to it and he's on his way. As I said, the upside of it, there's no complaints from the bailiffs and he's not going to be facing any charges and court appearances.
See you later, lads.
See you later.
Bye.
The next day, the shop owner returns to his premises, but the experience has led him to call it a day.
Yeah, Winston Churchill should be here, he'd have sorted him out. There was a bulldog.
Rightly or wrongly, the owner feels that he wasn't given enough time to get the shop back to profit.
I think that justice is only for the rich and not for the poor. And if you ain't got money, you're never going to get justice. As I learnt when I was 10 years old, when I did 5 years in an approved school for pinching 3 Mars bars. All right, they've robbed me of my childhood, but they're not going to rob me of my manhood. They're not going to rob me of the person who I am.
With nothing more to say, the owner shuts up shop for good. The Humberside police teams have become a nationwide powerhouse when it comes to cracking down on small-time peddlers and big-time drug barons.
We're looking at roughly around about £180,000 worth of cannabis plants.
They've prevented millions of pounds worth of cannabis from getting out onto the street and scored some of the biggest hauls around.
Suspicion of possession with intent to supply a controlled drug.
But they are not resting on their laurels. They're keeping the pressure up, working on tip-offs from the public.
Who do you think you are?
They're taking dealers off the streets and also sending a message to those who think there's nothing wrong with growing a little of their own at home for personal use. Today, they are following up on information provided by neighbours who suspect the occupants of a house where they live are growing dope.
We've had a report regards cannabis being grown here, okay. So we've come to have a look around really.
Was there any... You're outbuilding out there? Wait. Look.
A search of the house has led the police to an attic room where there is an overpowering and very distinctive smell.
Pardon? Is this your only crop, is it?
Yeah.
So you just cropped it basically, have you?
Yeah.
And you got no more plants on the go?
No. Mum came to the address, she could smell cannabis straight away. And the female occupant of the address was a little bit cagey as to what was here, but I think it was quite apparent that there was something here. From having a look around, we've found so far a small amount of cannabis bush which has already been grown and has now been dried out. But there's only a very small amount.
The whole house is overpowered by the smell from the drying plants, inhalation of which presents a real health hazard.
We're going to have a bit more of a thorough look around, because there might still be some bits and bobs. I'm not 100% happy that that's all there is. We haven't found any equipment yet, for example, as to why this might be getting grown in the first place. So.
Craig searches the bedrooms for any other evidence and Nigel checks out the downstairs.
Been grown in here? Yeah. Well, obviously not bedroom.
The man claims the room was empty until a few days ago and used for just growing the plants found for his own use.
When did you put all this stuff back in then?
A couple of days.
Where was it all before that?
The man says he has passed on the gear used for growing and turned the space back into a bedroom. A search inside and out doesn't bring up any evidence of wider scale production.
So we'll jump. Okay.
The team is satisfied that the crop was a grow your own, just for the man's personal use, but that doesn't mean he's getting off the hook.
What we're going to do is we're going to take what we've found, and my colleague's going to arrange for you to come in and be interviewed. Okay. You appreciate you could be arrested for it. It's still an offence, all right, but...
In cases like this, the team don't have to arrest the man on the spot. Instead, they can arrange for him to come down to the station for questioning at a later date, saving valuable time and resources.
I've written down, it's upstairs, that regards cannabis you found, it's mine and mine alone. It's nothing to do with anybody else in the house. I agreed to be interviewed at Press Road Police Station, and whether if I don't turn up, I will be arrested. Yeah.
I mean, when you arrest someone, there should be a necessity to do that. Obviously, on different circumstances, there's jobs we get sent to, we go to, generally slow time, and we also have the ability to have that contact and that continuity with people.
As the police leave, they reveal that when writing their report, they will make a note of some other points that came to their attention at the house.
The concerning thing is that when I asked where it was being grown, it's been grown in the lad's bedroom. He said the bed and everything wasn't there at the time. I mean, we have a duty of care to the children as well, so as part of our process we'll have to complete the relevant paperwork.
The neighbourhood team are on the front line when it comes to tackling these kinds of doorstep crimes that upset residents and always try to get a fast turnaround resolution and conviction where appropriate for any given offence. A week later, the man is interviewed and he receives a police caution for his crime.
Thanks for turning up today. You're going to receive a caution. Right, that's the caution done. Like I say, it'll go no further. You're not required to attend court. That's the end of the matter unless you're arrested again or you're dealt with again by the police.
It's another speedy result for the team, all thanks to information provided to them by locals fed up with crime taking place on their street.
Listening to the public about the types of crimes that affect everyday life is the driving force behind neighbourhood policing. But with hundreds of phone calls coming into the neighbourhood offices every day, the police never know what problem they might have to tackle next.
Earlier in the night, Gareth and Steve attended a call to free a pair of bailiffs who had become locked inside a shop. Just as they think the night is going to get quieter, they are in for a surprise. They spot a car that is driving a bit erratically and go to pull him over.
Oh, he's not going to stop for us on here.
But despite putting the blues on, he's not playing ball.
Can't stop him on there, come on.
As the sirens fire up, the team are now in full pursuit of the driver, who is still refusing to stop.
Possible vehicle failing to stop, A63, heading eastbound. Current speed is 35 miles an hour.
The driver is now jumping red lights.
Through a red light. Currently, no deviation towards Minor Bridge. Safe to continue, but we are in a van.
With Alan keeping tail of the car, Gareth puts in a call to the traffic cops to intercept him.
Heading towards Myton Bridge. Still safe to continue. Traffic is light, road conditions dry. Safe to continue.
Within moments, 2 traffic cars arrive and the car is pulled to a halt. Gareth and Alan get out to question the driver.
Gareth, what's in reverse into you? Come on, this way.
The man has an excuse for his actions.
I thought it was an ambulance behind me. You thought it was an ambulance, so it'd gone through red traffic lights.
Just come and sit down with car for us a minute.
Just come from Daddy's office.
Yes, that's his job, he's giving from Dad's office.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
So he thought it was an ambulance at one stage, pulled over for us.
With the man detained by the traffic cops, Alan explains why he's searching his car.
The gentleman's failed to stop for us all the way down the A63 for about a mile and a half. Consequently, because of that, I'm carrying out the Section 1 pace search of the vehicle, see if there's anything stolen or prohibited in it.
But there is also another small problem to deal with, the man's young son who was a passenger.
The chap who was driving, he's got a small son in the rear of the car, who's about 7 or 8 year old. We've just stuck him into our vehicle just for safe custody, basically, to make sure he's not wandering onto the road and for his own safety. You been in the police car before? No, it's exciting.
The man gets grilled about his erratic driving and failure to stop for the police.
What would you normally do if you saw an emergency vehicle behind you?
I usually slow down and pull over.
So why didn't you do on this occasion?
Well, I did slow down, but then...
And what he's saying is he thought you were an ambulance. Is that not credible at all?
Not for that, because whenever he went right, we went right. Whenever he went left, we went left behind him. Yeah. So we weren't trying to get up the inside or anything.
As the police debate if his excuse is acceptable, another officer breathalyses the man.
OK, mate, keep your hands down, don't touch this machine.
He had not been drinking, so the breathalyser shows he's not over the limit.
He's given a sample of the breath and he's actually clear, he's not been drinking as the mill. The traffic patrols are going to deal with him now for the offences he's committed, which is failing to stop for the police vehicle when we've clearly got twos and blues illuminated and sounding, and also he's contravened a red traffic light as we've come through the Maiden Gate roundabout.
When I saw you...
Under further questioning, the man remains adamant that he thought the police car was an ambulance.
I did pull over and then he pulled over. I tried to pull over that way, and then I pulled over that way and he was doing the same thing, going into the same lane. I was getting really confused and wondering why. I generally thought it was an ambulance, and then I pulled over again. And I've never...
We'll give him a considerate driver's course.
The police ultimately accept his excuse, but demand he brushes up his driving skills.
Ask the male, or give him the option of attending a considerate driver's course. As long as he attends that course, he won't be summoned to court and he won't receive the points on his driving licence. Do you keys, fella? Yeah. I have them. I thought it'd be embarrassing if somebody stole your car while I was dealing with you.
It's not exactly built for speed, the car, is it? All right, cheers.
Okay, thank you very much. Cheers then, bye-bye. Get yourself strapped in, young man. Not talking. Ta-da.
The incident is an example of how the team were involved in every type of scenario.
But thanks very much for your help.
You're welcome, thank you.
We'd have followed him to Edna, he wouldn't have stopped for us.
And the man took their advice, accepting a safe driving course instead of getting points on his licence and a hefty fine. The local pub has long been the heart of the community, but sometimes it's not just the lure of beer that brings people to the bar. It's the trade and use of illegal drugs on the premises. Across the country, pubs have shown evidence of cocaine use in toilets, and it's a problem landlords want to stamp out. Over in Beverley, Inspector Mike Young has assembled the team. They're going to be launching a strike supported by sniffer dogs. 20 pubs in the area will be hit randomly to send a message to anyone who may be thinking of taking drugs in their local.
The C Division licensing team, supported by divisional colleagues, Military Police, West Yorkshire Police, will attend public houses in the East Riding of Yorkshire to conduct passive drug dog testing of patrons. Obviously we're in plain clothes, and that we will have a look round just to observe the customers, see what's happening, to make sure that when you do enter several seconds later, that if people start diving for the toilets and things like that, we will hopefully identify that. It is Friday today, which means that many of the premises, it will be very busy. So, you know, we are looking at the premises, and there'll be a lot of people out there. A lot of people have been out since tea time. We've got to work, we've got to be safe and make sure that the people are safe where we're going into.
Fully briefed, the team's heading convoy to Beverley Village.
We're just travelling down into Beverley Market Place, where the majority of the pubs are. We'll all park up, having arrived there, and then obviously we'll enter the first pub that's been allocated, which I think's...
Once at the location, a search team of 15 officers, supported by Buster, the force's champion sniffer dog, make their way to the first pub. Most customers are in high spirits and glad to see the police. With the first pub clear, the search moves on to the next premises.
We're just securing all the locations, like toilets and all the back doors, make sure no one leaves the premises, and then we'll get the drugs dog in and we'll do a quick search round. Drugs dog just have a little walk and see what he smells.
The second pub also comes up clean.
That's all done for in here, but we just said that there's a bit of problems over at the some public orders, so we might have to end over there.
But the team gets word that there could be trouble brewing over the road. They reassemble and head to the destination. It seems at first a fight may have broken out, causing someone to suffer a bloody and bandaged head. But the injury wasn't so much caused by a knockout as by a slip-up.
There's been a gentleman that's been drinking in the pub, and he's been evicted, and he's fallen and banged his head.
Anyone too rowdy is given a Section 27 notice, banning them from the area for 48 hours.
They're not getting fined, you're getting given a warning to leave Beverley Town Centre and not come back.
The team now split into two. One unit keeps the revellers on the street in check. The other goes with Buster and continues their search of the pubs. All of the pubs in the area have come up clean, so the team regroup and head on to the next village.
The plan now is going to move to Cottingham. We've done a few pubs in Beverley, but the way they'll be out now, so it's probably best that we then we'll move on to another village. It's nice to find some, so it makes the job worthwhile coming out and getting the drugs dogs over from West Yorkshire as well.
Obviously we would love, you know, to find some people with some gear on them.
Most of the pubs have now been hit, but it's the last one on the list that turns up a result, thanks to an eagle-eyed plainclothes copper who joins the search team.
We went into the beer garden just to observe a group outside, just to see what was happening. And like at the briefing, when we were talking about people's movements, as soon as the guy observed the drugs dogs, he actually moved to the fence, and I actually saw him with his arm put something over the fence. And I just watched him. He then moved a couple of foot away again. The drugs dogs came in. I went behind the fence, and as I went on the lip of the fence, that little white packet was there, and it looked like it had been placed by the guy. So that's exactly what it is. A small bag of white powder, which we believe to be drugs.
He didn't obviously see the plainclothes officers, and as we've walked in, he's thrown a wrap of possibly Class A drugs behind him over the wall, which we've got and seized. So he's been arrested. He may have more on him, so he's been taken back to the station now, and he'll be strip searched to see if he's got any more.
The man who was arrested was ultimately released without charge, as the police decided to take no further action. But the exercise proves that the neighbourhood team and the dog squad can be relied upon to tackle any problem.
As we've seen, the neighbourhood police teams are there to listen to the public. But for the scheme to become a long-running success story, they have to continue to work with communities and deliver results.
Coming up next time, CCTV cameras are keeping an eye on city life.
Nowhere. You lied last time. You arrested me. You arrested me.
The team try to mediate between two warring neighbours.
I don't even want to be in a room with them. They're just off.
And never mind cash in the attic, we bring you hash in the attic.
Get your arms up.
You'll do this, mate.